In this video, we're going to be discussing SDM templates. What does that mean? Switch Database Management. In this video, we'll be talking about how to allocate our multi-layer switches resources, how to give preference to either the CAM table or the TCAM table, and how to verify or change your current template. Let's get started. I'm using an older Cisco 3550 switch, which I picked up off of eBay for about $35. It doesn't have all the features of a newer, latest, and greatest switch, but it does have enough that we can go ahead and work with this. Some of the newer switches will have more SDM templates, but we'll at least be able to see how the concept of this works. So switch database management templates allow you to break up your resource allocation differently according to the role that your switch is playing in your network. So when you look at the Cisco hierarchical, it's hard to say, network diagrams, you can see that there's an access layer, distribution layer, you've got the core layer. So you may have one of these switches in any one of those. Normally you'll see a switch like this, a stackable switch in either the access or distribution layer. And it may be playing a different role compared to what it was originally intended to. So Cisco makes some switches like 4500s and 6500s that are data center switches. Those don't have SDM templates that can be changed. Those are set the way that they are. They're expecting to be used in a data center. However, with stackable switches, like I was saying, you can have different types being used in different situations. So let's go ahead and check and see what our current SDM template is. And it's going to show us how our switch's database or its resources are being split up. So right now, our switch could learn about 5,000 MAC addresses. It could take care of about 1,000 IGMP groups. You have a different number of ACEs, and then you can see the most important numbers here to me are the unicast MAC addresses and the unicast routes. So you're seeing right there unicast MAC addresses, that's layer 2 switching capability. Unicast routes, that's layer 3. So right now it's pretty evenly split up. And it should be fine for most situations. But say that you're a network administrator and you're going to be using this for some heavy routing. Well, you may want to give a little bit more preference to routing rather than the layer 2 side of things. So how can you find out which template is the best? You can do show SDM prefer and hit the question mark, and this is going to show you the different templates that you have available on your switch. Now some newer switches of course will have more templates, but the 3550s just have 4: access, default, routing, and VLAN. So for instance, let's go ahead and check how do we see which template is going to be best for our situation. Well, it's nice, you can just do show SDM prefer routing. This isn't going to change anything, but it's just going to show you how it would allocate your resources if you went with that template. So now we can see that it can't learn as many ACEs, it keeps the same number of IGMP groups, same number of MAC addresses, but it goes to 16,000 unicast routes. So it borrowed from the allocation or the resources that were going to the QoS and security ACEs, dumped those into unicast routes, and now we can learn twice as many routes as we were going to be able to. But first, we've actually got to set it to that template. So let's go ahead and go into Configure Terminal, and then you can simply do SDM prefer routing. Now notice when I hit enter, it says changes to the running SDM preferences have been stored but cannot take effect until the next reload. So we'll actually need to reload the switch before it makes any difference, but one nice thing that you can do just to make sure that everything took is go ahead and do show SDM prefer, and now it shows you what the current template is and what the template stored for use after the next reload is. So let's go ahead and reload this, and then we'll be back. Alright, so now our switch is fully rebooted. Go ahead and get in enable mode. Show SDM prefer, please excuse my typos. Now we can see it is currently set to the routing template. We could learn 16,000 routes. We can still have the same number of MAC addresses, just not as many QoS or security ACEs. I'm adding this in post. One thing that I forgot that I wanted to show you. What if you want to set your SDM template back to default? Notice that when we go into configure terminal and we say SDM prefer, default's not there. Now when we did SDM or show SDM prefer question mark, default was one of our templates, so where did it go? It's really pretty simple. Just think about the way that Cisco generally works with defaulting different settings in global configuration mode. If you want to set it back to the default configuration, simply use no SDM prefer, and of course once you reload the switch you will see that it's gone back to the default template. I hope that this video has been helpful. I'm going to be making more as I prepare for my CCNP switch exam, so expect to see a lot more about CAM, TCAM tables, multi-layer switching, how to handle inter-VLAN routing, and many other topics. I do currently have my CCNA routing and switching, and I'll be focusing on some of those topics to try to keep my memory fresh on that. If you have any questions or videos that you'd like to see, please let me know. And if you have any suggestions for my channel, please go ahead and comment below.